46-year-old Dawna Natzke was starting her life over in Hot Springs Village, Arkansas, after her husband of 20 years blindsided her with divorce papers. But Dawna seemed to be picking up the pieces, and a big part of that was taking the job as a dispatcher for the local police department.
Everyone, every policeman just loved her.
I don't think she had an enemy or a person that didn't like her.
Yet Dawna's family says there was still an empty hole in her heart.
She went through 20 years of being with someone that she loved. I think she wanted to kind of find that again. She just didn't want to be lonely.
But Dawna's lonely days were about to be over. To everyone's surprise, the soon-to-be divorcee shows up in town on the arm of Kevin Duck, a man 18 years younger.
She loved the attention because she wasn't used to it, and that was her attraction to it.
Dawna's mom, Doris, says her daughter often asked her to tag along on her dates with Duck.
She would, "Mom, pick me up and take me to so-and-so. I'm supposed to meet Kevin." So she'd go with me.
We just kind of went with it because we were just trying to make our mom happy.
But Dawna's happiness is short-lived. Duck's once loving affection suddenly morphs into evil jealousy.
He was always with his hand on her leg, rubbing her back, snapping her bra. Very inappropriate.
To be that protective and that handsy with her was concerning.
Dawna begins going out of her way to avoid Duck.
Her attitude toward him changed right then.
There was even gossip swirling around the village that Dawna had started dating a cop she worked with at the police department. Everyone was expecting Dawna to dump Duck once and for all. But he wasn't about to let that happen.
She came home from work and he was moved in.
Doris says Dawna was furious. Her divorce wasn't even final yet, and Duck moved into her home without asking.
She was appalled, but he wasn't about to move out because he had given up his townhouse.
Duck tries to win Dawna over by showering her with lavish gifts, even buys her a car.
I felt that Dawna was smart enough that she'd see through him too.
But for some reason, to everyone's surprise, Dawna doesn't throw him out.
In the back of my head, I'm saying, you know, there's just something not right. The whole situation just was off to me.
It appears Dawna's had a change of heart and wants to make the relationship work. So when the couple gets invited to a Christmas party, she happily accepts. Then, at the last minute, Dawna asks her mother to come along.
When they picked me up, there was not good vibes between them. She was almost ready to cry, and I noticed her nose was red. When she's upset, her nose got red.
At the party, Dawna and Duck both tossed back a few drinks, but neither appeared to be in a festive mood.
I thought, well, this is strange because when they were together, you know, he was being very attentive, but that night they were not attentive at all.
Around 10:30, Doris says she looks around the party and is shocked to find both Dawna and Duck are gone.
Dawna's purse was still there. And I said, well, Dawna's glasses and her cigarettes and everything, and my credit cards were in her purse. Dawna would never have left that purse.
Dawna had never abandoned her mother before and would never leave without at least a goodbye. A worried friend calls Dawna to make sure she's okay. A little later, a strangely worded text comes back from Dawna's cell that she took a pain pill and was, quote, tore up. Everyone goes to bed believing Dawna Natzke is fine. But when the sun rises the next morning, so does a disturbing mystery.
I woke up at like 5:45 a.m., sometime roughly when my mom would be going to work, and I saw her car out in the driveway after the Christmas party.
A friend then spots Dawna's car speeding through the village toward her office.
People saw it driving roughly around 6 a.m. that morning.
But moments later, Dawna and her car both vanish.
And within 5 minutes, she was gone.
Where is Dawna Natzke? The single mom was last seen leaving a party with her much younger boyfriend, Kevin Duck.
I never saw her again.
Now Dawna's mother and her 3 sons are worried sick because Kevin Duck isn't Prince Charming. He's a real-life monster.
I had concerns for my mom's safety the second I knew she was with Kevin.
Duck's been arrested for assaulting both his ex-wife and a former girlfriend. He even beat his 2-year-old daughter savagely with a PVC pipe.
Everyone knew how he treated his own daughter.
At the time, I was playing scenarios in my head, and I knew that he was one of the last people that were with her.
Dawna's sons begin desperately searching for their mom.
I started calling my mom's closest friends, seeing if I could get a hold of her.
Adding to their concern, Dawna's best friend tells them she got a cryptic misspelled text from Dawna saying she left the party because she was tore up after taking a pain pill. But the friend says she found it strange because Dawna never texted her. She usually just called.
She wouldn't leave town or hide someplace without me or my brothers knowing. We would know what was going on.
In my head, in my heart, in my mind, I just knew it was Kevin.
Brandon tracks down Duck looking for answers.
I asked him what time he got home, and he said 10:30, 11. And I remember it just kind of clicking in my head like, no. Like, I know you didn't, because I was up till midnight.
Now Dawna's sons are in a panic. They head straight to the Hot Springs, Arkansas Police Department, where Dawna worked as an emergency dispatcher. Cops aren't just worried about their coworker, they suspect their friend is the victim of foul play.
Having done this for 21, 22 years, the bells went off.
Prosecuting attorneys Michelle Lawrence and Joe Graham say cops go back to where the mystery all began, that party where Dawna and Duck were last seen together. It leads them to a woman who lives a few doors down. She tells police she heard something that night that still echoes in her head.
She heard what she called just a blood-curdling scream that she described as a man in a fit of rage, succeeded by a car door and then peeling tires coming out of there.
Now cops are wondering if Duck's violent behavior has escalated to murder.
All of the signs pointed to Kevin Duck from the very beginning.
But Duck maintains he's innocent, telling police he was sleeping, and when he woke up, Dawna and her car were gone.
There was no proof that it was Kevin, but who else could it have been?
Days pass, still no sign of Dawna. But this case is personal for the Hot Springs police.
Every one of the policemen just wept when she was missing.
She was one of our own, and so I think that motivated law enforcement to turn over every rock in an investigation.
Finally, a possible break. An emergency call comes in from a park ranger reporting a car fire. It's the car Duck gave Dawna.
The flames were still going at the time the Forestry Service found it, but it was completely engulfed in flames, and they just let it burn out at that point in time.
It was torched. It was completely burned to a crisp.
When the flames finally die down, investigators carefully sift through the ashes, expecting to find Dawna's body inside. But there's no one in the car.
So at that point in time, as a law enforcement individual, you go to, something's not right here. Something doesn't make sense here.
Is it possible Dawna's torched the car to throw Kevin Duck off her trail in a desperate attempt to escape from him? Or was the fire set to cover up a horrible act of violence?
You want to have hope and you want to have faith that they're going to find her, but when you see something like that, I mean, you know that there's a reason that that car was burned. You know that there was a reason they were trying to dispose of it.
Cops immediately launch a ground search in the area surrounding the burned car.
Word got out pretty well about it, people coming out to help.
Hours, then days pass. Hopes of finding Dawna alive begin to fade.
You just know that mom's out there somewhere, and it's cold outside, and there was days that it was raining. I was just sitting there just thinking, like, I don't need to be here right now. I need to be out there. I need to be trying to look for her. I need to be trying to find her.
We went on for 9 or 10 days with very little sleep and always on edge, always wondering where Mom was. My biggest fear was we never would find her.
Then one of the most unlikely people volunteers to join the search.
Luther Duck who is Kevin Duck's father, had been one of the persons who showed up to volunteer to do the search.
Duck's dad tells cops he believes he knows exactly where to find Dawna.
Luther had volunteered to search a certain portion, and his reasoning was this was a portion that was very close to where the childhood home of Kevin Duck was, where Luther Duck had raised him.
Luther specifically wants to search a pond that he used to take Kevin to when he was a young boy.
Kevin spent a lot of time there. He said if he's killed her, that's where she is.
And there, in that pond, officers find pieces of Dawna's body scattered along the shore.
They found her body deceased. She had been there for some time. My understanding was that it was a very gruesome scene.
Dawna's remains paint a painful picture. The coroner determines she was brutally beaten, but that's not what killed her.
From what the medical examiner told us was that she did receive blunt force trauma, but at the time that she was dumped into the pond, she was still alive, and she drowned.
Just something that just takes your breath away. It's just something that you just won't believe, like what happened in a nightmare.
Dawna's boys and the cops are more convinced than ever Kevin Duck is the killer.
We had intuition that Kevin Duck was the suspect, but of course we have to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Dawna's naked body was so badly decomposed, cops had little to work with. Luckily, they find her clothes strewn throughout the forest, and there, on her bra, DNA evidence that cops hope will confirm Kevin Duck is their killer.
There was a mixture of DNA. Part of the mixture was Dawna, which is completely expected on her bra. The other part of the mixture was a male profile.
There was no doubt in my mind that Kevin had killed my mother.
But hold on, the results are in, and cops are stunned.
It was not his DNA.
There was little doubt in anyone's mind who brutally beat and murdered Dawna Natzke.
It was unequivocally Kevin Duck.
Dawna was last seen leaving a party with Duck.
That was the last time anyone saw Dawna Natzke alive.
A neighbor reported hearing a blood-curdling scream at the exact time they left the party.
She heard a scream that sounded like an animal, and it had to be Dawna.
Duck blatantly lied to Dawna's son about what time he got home.
I knew it was him, and I had no intentions of looking any other direction.
And Duck's own father even led cops to Dawna's body scattered around a remote pond in the forest.
Kevin's dad was telling the cops where to look when we were trying to find Mom.
But prosecutors had one big problem with a key piece of evidence: DNA found on Dawna's bra at the crime scene.
There was a mixture of DNA.
Prosecutor Joe Graham won't be specific as to what kind of male DNA was found, but tests reveal one thing.
We had collected samples from Kevin Duck to have analyzed, and it was not his DNA.
And if not Kevin Duck's DNA, whose is it? Prosecutors tell Crime Watch Daily the sample doesn't match anybody in the national DNA data system. So the question now, who was with Dawna when she was murdered?
There's no doubt that whomever's DNA is on that brassiere had something to do with this crime.
Attorneys Brian Johnson and Clay Jansky represent Kevin Duck. They say that mystery DNA, along with some clothing found near the crime scene, prove Kevin Duck didn't do it.
There was also some clothing that was found on a barbed wire fence out there that they could not match back to any of Mr. Duck's clothing.
Duck maintains he was at home sleeping the night Dawna was murdered, but tells detectives he remembers Dawna saying she was going back to the party after he went to bed.
Dawna was going to head straight back to the party, get her mother, and take her back to her vehicle or stay at the party for a little bit longer.
But Dawna never made it.
There was obviously another person that came into contact with her.
Investigators look at Dawna's soon-to-be ex-husband, Todd Natzke.
I mean, obviously, you've got a divorce going on. Apparently, Todd had sued Dawna's mother about some money issues, and so we certainly thought that Todd would be a suspect.
But Todd has an alibi, and it's rock solid.
Todd Natzke had a completely airtight alibi. One of their children was with him. His then girlfriend was with him during all the times that this could have happened.
Then Duck makes a jaw-dropping accusation, pointing the finger right at Hot Springs' top cop.
Kevin had also heard that the chief of police was having some type of relationship with Dawna Natzke.
Remember, Dawna was a police dispatcher and worked with Chief David Flory at the Hot Springs Police Department.
We had been approached by a couple of police officers that were under the chief's control who had said that they believed that there was an affair that was going on.
Police Chief Flory vehemently denies the accusation and voluntarily submits his own DNA sample.
They did a DNA test and it didn't match.
For months, the DNA remains a mystery, and so does the identity of Dawna's killer. But her co-workers refuse to give up until they find the real killer.
This one was very personal for the Hot Springs Village. This was one of their dispatchers. This was one of them. We definitely paid attention to it to make sure justice would be done.
Then an unexpected witness comes forward, Kevin Duck's ex-wife. She tells detectives a story that sends chills down their spines, revealing an eerie, familiar story about how Kevin Duck brutalized and then left her for dead.
He had beaten her up, taken her out into the middle of the woods, and just left her.
Now investigators can't help but wonder if their initial suspicions were correct.
All of the signs pointed to Kevin Duck.
But could they prove it?
They began interviewing anyone and everyone in the timeline from when Dawna had last been seen.
One of the people who'd worked with him said they had noticed him checking various things on his work computer, the weather, the Greyhound bus schedule to Canada, a few other things that just struck him as odd.
They interviewed the employer for Kevin Duck, who articulated that morning he was supposed to be at work at 8:30. He did not show up until about 10:10 a.m., which was late for him.
So where was Duck the morning after Dawna disappeared? On a hunch, cops subpoena cell tower records in the area to track the location of Duck's cell phone during the hours Dawna went missing. The results were not good for Duck.
Cell phone analysis showed that he could have been within 200 yards from where the car ended up burned out on the very remote National Forest Road.
Shortly thereafter, they located his phone being next to the pond where Dawna Natzke's body was eventually found.
Kevin Duck was clearly the person who had killed Dawna Natzke.
Cops arrest Kevin Duck for the murder of Dawna Natzke.
Kevin Duck was charged with murder in the first degree. The only thing higher in Arkansas is capital murder.
But prosecutors know proving the case is going to be difficult.
It was a circumstantial case. Nobody saw him do it. We have a neighbor who saw that there was some type of scuttle. Then you have the employer of Kevin Duck. To top it all off, you had these phone records that basically put him in a certain place near Dawna and near her destroyed car at the times when it would have happened.
But what they don't have is an answer to that critical question: whose DNA was on Dawna's bra?
At the very least, it tells you that somebody else was present there. The real physical evidence of this case points to somebody besides Kevin Duck.
Despite the mystery DNA, Kevin Duck is charged with murder. His trial lasts 4 days, and after just 4 hours of deliberation, the jury is back with a verdict.
He was found guilty of murder in the first degree. No chance for parole at all.
The mystery of the DNA may never be solved. Did somebody help Duck kill Dawna, or was the DNA planted to throw cops off Duck's trail?
I think he genuinely feels bad for Dawna Natzke's family, but he's also still maintains that he's innocent of the crime.
But Dawna's family doesn't want to hear it. Her sons believe without a doubt it was Kevin Duck who killed their mom and robbed them of a lifetime of memories.
I'm gonna have to go through my wedding without my mom. I'm gonna have to go through the birth of my children without my mom.
Getting my first big job, telling her like, hey mom, you won't believe what happened, you know.
All these milestones throughout my and my brother's lives, she's just not there. She's just gone.
And Dawna took a big chunk of her mother's heart with her.
It wasn't right because she wasn't supposed to go first. So I really miss her. Always.
During the sentencing hearing, Duck's brother testified that Kevin became very violent when he was 7 years old, even faking his own suicide by firing a shotgun in his bedroom. After sentencing, while Duck was being transferred to the jail, the convicted killer told reporters, quote, "I think y'all made a mistake." Duck has already filed a notice to appeal his conviction.